真的假？
是啊。
你是真行啊！
Right, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and today we gotta try and figure out exactly what's going on with the stock market over the next week or so. So I'm going to be going over that, and of course some Bitcoin stuff. I'm largely going to save the deep dive for the weekend as always, because as ever the closes will be very important. We're going to go over that. First, I want to point out a couple of things. Okay, some of you guys are too funny. So this, of course, was in response to that comment I made yesterday saying I had some steroids for my chest. Guys, they're not anabolic steroids. They are steroids to help me breathe. But nevertheless, I might make this a profile picture in the not too distant future. Something I've been going on about for quite a while lately is there's just no logic anymore, right? There's no logic anywhere, and that's why all these macro guys and people that read the news and all of that, they're just absolutely falling flat on their face. They can't stay on the right side of the market because there's no logic anymore, right? Japan enters a recession, stock market goes straight to all-time highs. The UK enters a recession, which is now apparently over in just 3 days. And this is just the world in which we live, okay? There's no logic here anymore. If you can't actually read the charts, then you're just not going to make it. And so you can see here, UK recession already over, according to economists. Like, I'm not saying that it doesn't matter what this article says, does it? It really doesn't matter, because the point is that we live in this clown world. We live in this world of fake data, and everything is a joke. So as ever, I continue to preach my message. My message is that the charts are the truth. The charts do not lie. As of yesterday, we had initial jobless claims come out indicating that the labour market is stronger than expected. So I guess happy days, no recession for now at least. We also saw this confirmed in the manufacturing PMI, which came in above that critical number of 50 and above the estimates. So apparently the economy is still in an expansive phase rather than a contracting phase. We also saw services PMI come in slightly below the estimate and the previous readout, however, maintained above that critical level of 50, indicative of expansion. So no recession right now. The market seems to have liked it. So then, of course, the question is for me, have I taken profit too early? Have we got to figure out how to get back in? Do we continue to wait patiently for the cycles? Of course, this was the profit I took. I noticed some people were quick to come out and say, ha, you were wrong or whatever. There's nothing wrong with locking in some profit and sitting on the sides and waiting for a high probability setup. The same is true here. A few people were quick to come out and call me a bear. It's not a bear, right? It's just I have a cycle strategy and I stick to the cycle strategy. So again, locked in the profit from these trades as well. And I still have my Dow Jones position riding, which right now is at fresh all-time highs. So happy days, right? We've still got some exposure. We've taken the bulk off of the table. And so the question is really, did we just force an early 31-day cycle low, which is outside of the timing window, right? That is pretty early. We would expect this thing to come in between day 38 and 42. Or indeed, is this yellow squiggle just playing out? Are we about to roll over? Are we about to see perhaps one more push up today? And then is next week going to be quite a red week as we roll over and find that daily and possibly weekly cycle low? That's to be determined. I appreciate if you don't understand cycles or you're new to cycles, then you might be thinking, oh no, we need to hop back in here, or Camel's missed the move and what comes next must be this, right? But I've seen enough cycles that I trust them. My strategy is developed around them. And I know the best thing to do here is wait. Even if this thing does scream off higher, there will be a place to get back in somewhere around the half cycle low, or even perhaps we'll get a left translated cycle that then breaks down and I end up buying the weekly cycle low down here, right? Cycles are cycles. At the end of the day, they work, and it's easy for me to say that because I've seen enough of them. If you're new to them, if you don't understand them, I appreciate you might be thinking, what is wrong with this guy? Anyway, give it some time, right? Give it some time. We'll see if they work or if they don't work. But the tell is going to be over the coming days, right? Over the coming week, let's say. Over the coming seven-ish days, we're going to be able to know whether or not this yellow squiggle is going to play out, whether or not we've got to undercut these lows to form a daily cycle, or whether indeed we forced an early cycle here and we're going to have to look to try and exploit the next move. So for now, we remain patient because there is no way of knowing. That exact analysis applies to the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones as well. So for now, we'll continue to push this. We'll see how high up it goes. And once it breaks down, again, it's the same thing over and over again, right? Lose this upwards open red support line. I'll exit this position and lock in the profit there. I am indeed still pushing my Russell 2K position as well. So that is that. Over in the world of Bitcoin, things continue to look very bullish with a medium to long term. We have now fully shifted into accumulation across all cohorts denoted by the blue. Accumulation is in blue. That's everyone buying. Versus when we are in red, which is distribution, that's everyone selling. As you can see, all cohorts, people that have not even a whole coin, up to mega whales, every single cohort is in accumulation. So that is bullish, and it likely says that the retail that were panic selling or were selling out of their positions, they have now finished selling. Found this really cool clip here from Michael Saylor where you can see Bitcoin priced in all of these different currencies, okay? And as you can see, we continue to one by one take down these currencies. One by one, Bitcoin continues to do Bitcoin things. It continues to eat all of these currencies for lunch. And I'm sure this is a trend we're going to continue to see. How long before it's at all-time highs against things like the euro, the GBP, and of course the dollar is, in my opinion, not a very long time. We're going to see that very, very shortly. You can see whales, or said another way, fund managers continue to accumulate Bitcoin ETFs. Okay, you can see that total balance in blue up and to the right. Pretty insane. And arguably an even nicer chart, because the 30-day active whale cohort now sits at $40,500. As you can see, typically speaking, this thing holds as support, apart from in times of extreme stress. And so far, kind of indicates that we might not see Bitcoin trade below 40K anytime in the foreseeable future. So overall, not a great deal has changed, right? As I said at the start, we'll save the big deep dive TA for the weekend. I do want to point out that I am now looking to short gold pretty much as soon as I finish recording this video. I'm probably going to open a short. It's probably going to be somewhere around this neighborhood here. So that'll be an entry of around 20 and 17. I'll probably put my stop somewhere up in this 2054 neighborhood. And this should be, okay, if we take a good look at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 daily cycles that give us the weekly cycle denoted in blue. Since we are this late in the weekly cycle, we were expecting this one here, this last daily cycle, to left translate, which it has done. It's now broken down of its upward sloping red support line after being rejected at this upward sloping support line as well. So if we draw our eyes to this neighborhood, we've done breakdown, retest, looking for that resumption. That's one thing. The second thing, if we draw our eyes to this trend line, what have we just done? Trying to break down from that to confirm that we are indeed going to start to move downwards. And all of this aligns nicely with the final daily cycle left translating to give us that bigger decline into the weekly cycle. From there, we should be expecting perhaps a right translated cycle in the daily cycle, followed by a continued rollover, if indeed we are going to have that risk on moment in the stock market. So as ever, one day at a time. Like I said, I'm probably going to go short now, pretty much now, and this is what the position will look like. So we've been talking about this for a very long time, right? Since all the way back here, we were talking about, yeah, maybe get long or maybe get to short if we get up in this neighborhood. Now we're finally here. I think it's time to get short, and it is what it is. So don't be surprised, especially if you've been here before. The other thing I'm looking to short is oil. You can see I've added the daily cycle count here. It's the same as the S&P. It's about 40 days on average. And again, we're kind of expecting this yellow squiggle to play out. So it's the same deal, right? We need to see it confirmed by a trend line breakdown, and that should provide us with a signal to get short. And the short will look something like this, targeting about $40 a barrel. Not a popular trade, but it is what it is. That's how I like them. And whilst we're here, might as well take a look at Bitcoin. So, I mean, it makes sense if we get some kind of pullback from here, right? Something like this kind of makes sense, and then resume to the upside. So, as ever, one day at a time, right? Like I said, we'll come back over the weekend and do the deep dive and check out all the miners and stuff. But really, not a great deal has changed. The S&P may have shaken me out, like may have trapped me here. But sometimes it is like that, okay? Sometimes it be like that. It is what it is. And we'll be able to find out pretty soon, won't we? Whether or not my yellow squiggle's correct. And we have indeed got a plunge coming into the early week. Or if indeed we just have to label this as an early cycle and thus expect a longer, more drawn out cycle. And of course, if that's the case, we'll find somewhere suitable to get back in along the way. So I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you are doing well in life. Do come back over the weekend and check out the deep dive as always. And of course, the level 3 members, I'll be covering all the crypto related stocks and such in that members only video on Saturday. So look out for that too. Other than that, have a great weekend, as I said. And until next time, take care from me. All the best. Cheers. Bye.